Hello everyone, my name is Kayla. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing the Adaptation Dilemma Tag, and this is by the lovely Ashley from Ashley Hearts Reading. I will link her down below and also her original video. So yeah, let's get started. So the first one is, what book to movie adaptation do you think got it right? So my first pick for this is definitely Outlander. So I've read only the first two books in the Outlander series, but from what I saw, like the music, the actors, the setting, the scenes, everything was like absolutely perfect. There's like nothing that can like touch it. There's nothing that I had any issues with. There's nothing that I thought was like wrong or done poorly. It was just perfect, honestly. And the other one is Full Metal Alchemist by Hiromi Arakawa. So I don't love the 2003 version. Feel free to hate me for that. However, I do like the 2009 version, I think it was. It's so good. It's so good. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, not the original Full Metal Alchemist. The adaptation was incredible. Like, they got the characters right, they got the settings right, they got the overall scenes right, and they did like, there's this really iconic scene where he like takes off the sweater or cape or something that he was wearing, and it's red, and it shows off his mechanical arm, which you didn't see before. And it's such a cool scene. It's cool in the book, and it's cool in the show. Like, it's epic. Number 2, can you name an adaptation that changed a lot from the book? So I also have 2 for this one. So The Passage by Justin Cronin. Didn't love what they changed. Specifically because they had this one backstory for the character's mother, and I feel like it gives a lot of depth to the character, and they just kind of like rolled over it, like it's nothing, passed over it. I don't know exactly what word I'm trying to use here. But they didn't care about the storyline at all, and it kind of shows. Next is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. So like, if you've read The Hobbit and you've seen the movies, you know that they changed this huge storyline, which I'm not gonna spoil, but essentially they changed a lot, and the movies weren't as good, and the story was just, it's really close to my heart because I gave it a 5-star, and I read it for the first time in its entirety last year, and it was so good. It was so good. Like, why would you change anything about it? I don't understand. Anyway, number 3, was there an adaptation you were excited about but ended up not liking? Again, have 2 for this. We have City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. So every adaptation of this book was so bad. We have the movie, and there's a TV show, right? I think the movie is worse than the TV show, to be honest. The TV show at least tried to follow the characters, but then it got very like soap opera-y and drama-y, and it just wasn't following the heart of the characters, and that's why I didn't really like it. And also The Vampire Diaries by L.J. Smith. This one, they changed so much of it. It's not even like the same story anymore. Like, that's I think that's what kind of bugged me about it, was that it's not the same story anymore. They were trying to do something, and they just, I don't know what they were trying to do. I don't like it. That's my point, I guess. Number 4, did any characters in adaptation seem different or wrong compared to the books? So a big one for this is Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. So there's so many adaptations of Peter Pan. Some of them are worse than others. I enjoy the movies. Like, I'll say that first, is that I enjoy all the Peter Pan movies, but I don't think any of them are really true to the book, is what I'm trying to say. The character of Peter Pan, he's very cruel, he's childish, he's odd. He doesn't care about people, he doesn't care about other children. He's very fickle. And I don't think that shows in any of the movies. I don't know. Maybe there will be a good adaptation someday. And the other one is Pretty Little Liars by Sarah Shepard. So in this, I've read most of the Pretty Little Liars books, and this was like years and years ago. But from what I remember of the books to the movies, to the TV shows, is that the characters were not who they were supposed to be, in my opinion. I guess, I don't know. Like never mind, that's a huge spoiler. But I guess what I'm trying to say is they changed a lot of it, and the adaptation wasn't all that good because they changed the characters. So, yeah. Next, number 5. Which adaptation added something new to the story that you liked? So there's 2 adaptations of this book. Let the Right One In by John Ajvide Lindqvist. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm so sorry. So there's 2 adaptations of this. There's Let Me In, and that was starring a couple American actors. And then there's Let the Right One In, which I believe is Swedish. If I'm not mistaken, I will look it up. I'm sorry. I should have looked it up already. But essentially, the Let the Right One In, it added some elements of horror that just weren't in the book, and it was done really, really well. The other adaptation, the American version, Let Me In, was horrible and not even anywhere near what the book was trying to do. It was just like vampire-esque horror, and it didn't do what it's supposed to do. And the other one is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. This added some whimsical elements that I think weren't really in the book. And because the book was kind of like dark in parts. Obviously it's dark in parts in the movie as well. But I think that whimsical element was something that was sorely missing from the book. So that was done really well. Number 6, do you think some stories work better as movies? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's actually Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. Great example of it was better as a movie than it was as a book. Because just the concepts of dinosaurs and bringing things back to life and life itself was done really well in the movie. But I think in the book it was kind of meh. And the other one is The Help by Catherine Stockett. So this was an excellent book. Definitely not going to take away from that. But I think showing it on screen with the themes and the characters and the ideas definitely helped open up the story and make it more real. Have you ever liked an adaptation more than the book? So Twilight. The book is meh. The movie's better. But I do think I enjoyed the movies more than I enjoyed the books. Like for the entire series. Because when I first read the books, I was obviously a teenager, and everyone loved the books when I was a teenager. And, like, reading them as an adult, it's just not the same. I guess the nostalgia's there, but otherwise, the actual movies themselves just show off the story better. They changed vastly throughout throughout the movies, like the characterization changes, which isn't great, but I still do enjoy the movies more. And also To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I'd read this book in high school twice. And both times I enjoyed it, but I felt like the movie was better. I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was done really well, and the concept was good for really good for a movie. It just really nailed out the characters very well. Number 8, books you want to see adapted. City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. So I have not shut up about this book since I read it because it's so excellent. And just the concepts, the magic, the characters, the settings, I think it would be so epic. Part of it's set in Cairo in Egypt, and parts of it are set in a magical city in Daevabad. But it's so beautiful and it's such a rich story, and I think it would work really, really well on screen. Also, The Legend of Drizzt by R.A. Salvatore. So there's a lot of D&D movies, There's definitely a lot of them. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them are meh. But I think The Legend of Driss specifically would work really well as a movie, just because you have this one main character and he goes through a lot of adventures, and there's a lot of elements within the series that I think would work really well in the movie. So yeah, definitely needs to be adapted there. Number 9, how important is it for adaptations to stick to the book's main ideas? I think it's pretty important, actually, because if you're going to adapt something, why would you not stick to the story that you're adapting? At least the main ideas. It doesn't need to be like perfect. It doesn't need to stick to every single idea perfectly and do only the adaptation of this thing specifically. But if you're not sticking to the main ideas, like, what's the point? Tell a different story instead. So I have 2 examples for this. One of them is My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult. The adaptation is garbage. I'm just going to say that right now. That's so mean to say, but the adaptation is so bad. They took the main element, like the ending, took the main element of the plot and just fucked it up. Like, there was a point to the entire story, and the ending, they just, whatever. It's fine. Who cares? It's like you missed the entire point of the book. What were you thinking? And if you've seen the movie and you've read the book, you definitely know what I'm talking about. And then the other one is I Am Number 4 by Pittacus Lore. Didn't stick to the ideas. And there was only one movie. Didn't do very well. And I can see why. Because they didn't stick to the main ideas, they didn't stick to the main plot points, they didn't stick to the characterization, the settings. They just made a movie, and it wasn't very good. And that's probably why. So. And number 10, this is the last question. Is there a book that you think should never be adapted? I'm just going to say these books because I think adapting these would ruin the story. I love both of these books so much. So to see them adapted, I would be very upset if they didn't handle it properly. So The Centaur's Wife by Amanda Leduc. This is like an epic story. And it follows a character and centaurs and like magical elements, but it's magical realism elements. And I feel like magical realism can be hard to portray in a story, but this one did it really well, and I think on screen it just wouldn't work because a lot of it's like, is it real, is it not real, you can't really tell. It's like a dream world kind of, so I don't think that would work well on screen. And the other one is All Systems Red by Martha Wells. So this one is about a humanoid type robot cyborg type thing. I don't even know how to fully talk about this character, but essentially they are a murder bot, and Murderbot is just trying to live their life, going through a bunch of mysteries, going through the galaxy, figuring things out. A lot of it's internal, like the dialogue, the thoughts, the ideas, and a lot of it's figured out through those internal things. So I think as a movie it just wouldn't work very well, or like as a TV show wouldn't work very well unless you had like this inner monologue going all the time, which I'm not sure would be particularly interesting in a movie or TV setting. So yeah. Anyway, those are all 10 questions. Let me know down below, what is a movie adaptation or show adaptation that you think got it right? So to remind you, I was saying Outlander and Fullmetal Alchemist. Let me know what you think. And if you'd like to do this tag, definitely let me know. And also tag Ashley Hart's Reading. And yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you very much for watching.